Travis, I just, I tell you what I do. I just walk in the room and I say, "Hey Alexa, play Sound of Silence." It just, it is, yeah,
Maybe it was Memphis.
maybe it's
Maybe it
Southern
was the
Southern
moonlit
Nights.
Southern Nights. Maybe it
Maybe
was
it's
you.
Southern Nights and they were hot, and the guy can't run very hard because it's hot.
Maybe it was Sam. Maybe it was the defense, but it sure didn't feel right.
You know what it was? It was an L, is what
It
it
was
was.
an
It was
L.
an
It was
L. It
a.
was an unnecessary L. It was an ugly L. Was it the end of Sam Pittman?
It was UGLY. You ain't got no L about that game was ugly. Whoop whoop.
You
That
know
game
what,
was ugly.
Travis? You know what Sam Pittman should do if he gets terminated,
Well,
and he's
even
got
if he
time
doesn't
on
get
his
terminated,
if he's got time on his hands,
like right now, what he should do right
what he
now
should do,
to
like he's
get
like,
ready for
hey,
Notre Dame,
you
to
should get
get
ready
ready
for
for
Notre
Notre
Dame.
Dame.
But let's just say he didn't have to do that. Let's say Sam Pittman just was unemployed,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying they should do that. They should, but I mean, not right now anyway.
Yeah.
But eventually they're going to do it, and here's what's going to happen: Sam will have time, and he'll just give this podcast a like.
I like.
He's gonna be like, "Hey, Barry Odom, let me share this podcast with you." Barry Odom's
Yeah.
like, "I'm coaching
Very.
Purdue. I got stuff to do."
Yeah.
And
Maybe
that
Jim
rhymes.
Chaney.
Coaching
Maybe
Purdue,
Jim
I've got
Chaney.
stuff to do. Huh? Look at that. Who's your pun warrior today, Johnson? Me. All right. So he would share it, and then you know what? He would probably go, you know what? I want to know when this comes out again, so he'd subscribe.
He would
That's what he would
subscribe.
do.
He would. He should probably do that anyway,
Yeah.
just to
I
take
mean,
his
yeah,
mind
yeah.
off
Take
all
it.
the stress that he's
It will
under,
help you out. It will
off
help you
all the
out.
bad things that people are saying. He said, "Don't listen to this episode, Sam. Go back and listen
We're
to some
usually
other
pretty
ones
positive guys.
because this one might get that right."
You left us no choice. And you know what else we
Sorry,
don't have a
buddy.
choice? But you know what else we don't have a choice in? Kicking it to Sean Michelle.
Booyah.
That was
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Never seen a blind man see? I promise you will change his name. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you will change his name. Changes me, my Lord, changes me.
What's up, everybody? It's time. It's time for the Hog Slop podcast. I'm your boy, Bigger T. Joined as always by my man, Big C. And folks, he's already got the flamingos rolling at his house down in Victoria, Texas.
there you go.
How you doing, Big C? How you doing, Clint?
Man, I am fantastic, but definitely better than I deserve to be, I'd say. Been living the dream. Living the dream. Hey, and you know what? We usually I know it's football season, we don't have a lot of time. We usually take up our time. We're not struggling for fillers, so we're not doing a lot of how you watch it. You know what I started watching, Travis,
What's
this
that?
weekend? And it was one of the things, once I started, I had to binge
You're
watch the entire
hooked.
thing, and I'm caught up with it. I've been watching The Rainmaker.
Oh, really? Is
The
it good?
Rainmaker on Peacock. I like to wait on it to come out on Peacock because I don't have to watch commercials then.
Yeah.
Um, so, but yeah, really impressive, really good.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's like my wife was reminding me about the movie. I remember Matt Damon in it, but I
Yeah.
did not
Yeah.
remember Mickey Rourke as the Bruiser.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. It's been a
I mean,
long
I'm
time
sure
since I've
I
seen
would if
that.
I'd watch it. And then Danny DeVito was in it, and I
Yeah.
was like, man, I'm like, that is a solid cast for a movie.
Yeah. It
With,
was
with
it was a good movie, yeah.
it was a good movie, but the show's actually pretty good, pretty good. Been
Is it?
watching a
Yeah.
lot of that. So,
Nice. Well, I hate to bring up I mean, we're going to talk about some bad news anyway, but I got to, you know, Clint, I got a handful of salt
all right.
and you got a wound and I'm about to
Oh
rub it
yeah.
in.
Well, yeah,
Because this last weekend in
yeah, it's
fantasy
bad.
football, the Bunno Browns played Degeneration Fat and
Not go well for old D
not
Fat.
gonna say look, man, hey, I'm Okay, look, I usually don't talk trash about fantasy football because
No,
I lose as many as I win. But anyway, but my Browns won this weekend, Clint.
no, they
So I'm
did. So
feeling pretty good.
you should feel Travis,
Like I
and
even wore my
also
brown shirt to work Monday. Okay,
there you
that's
go.
how good I felt.
No, Trav, I do have to bring something else up because I've got some salt of my own.
Oh no!
And there's a wound. There's a wound. And
What?
I tell you what. And honestly, when I saw
You
this
wouldn't do
happen,
it though, would you?
no, I'm going to.
No.
Because I've like we have dropped the ball for years on this podcast.
Yeah.
Dropped it. It was like, just fumble it
Oh,
away.
it's dropped. Yep.
Dropping it.
Kind
Um,
of like Razorbacks in the fourth quarter. Anyway, go
there you
ahead.
go.
Go
Just
ahead.
don't. Why hold on to the ball?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
let it go.
yeah.
So my alma mater is Arkansas Tech. I'm a graduate of Arkansas Tech, and Travis went to OBU.
I went long enough where I should have graduated from
He
OU.
should have, should have, would have, could have. But anyway, but
I gave them
you
enough
would
money;
consider
they
that
should give me an
your
honorary.
school,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they play in football every year, and we and you never make a big deal of it. And they
No,
played this week in the is it Harris Stadium, Travis? The friendly
Cliff
confines?
Harris Stadium. Yeah,
Cliff. I thought it's Cliff Harris Stadium, but I was certain on Harris, and I was pretty sure on Cliff, so I didn't want to go
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So the mighty Arkansas Tech Wonder Boys stormed into Arkadelphia and approved to 3-0 on the
Isn't
season.
isn't it? Y'all don't have a first year coach too?
First year coach. I believe he was the defensive coordinator at OBU last year, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
But I mean, OBU's had some good years. They've had some really
yeah,
good years. Harding's practically a Division II powerhouse right now.
yeah.
Um, so there's some good Division II football. I will be going to the Arkansas Tech game next week, as me and the if we brought that up on the podcast
It's
yesterday.
you might be. Clint may have
Maybe
brought
once
that
or
up.
twice, but
Hall of
I'm
Fame, something
proof
like that. Yeah.
that you can hang out and go to the Hall of Fame, guys.
That's right.
Uh, so,
That's right.
but yeah,
Which that's an awesome thing, and that's next weekend. The
that
Hall
is
of Fame induction.
October 4th.
Nice.
So yeah.
Well, once again, congrats on that.
Oh, thank you. That works out with the Razorbacks bye week, which may
Yeah.
be convenient.
Yes, right. Well, let's get into it, Clint.
Might as well just pull it off like a
The
band-aid, my friend.
Hogs traveled down I-40. Well, they flew there. They probably should have taken a VW bus or something. They should have had a much tougher trip because they didn't deserve to ride home in a jet plane. They went over there and Clint, it just didn't go so well. And
I,
to a team that they shouldn't have been playing in their stadium, first of
no.
all. Which I think the deal is that we play once there and they play twice with us, and we don't have to pay them since it's a kind of we had a 2-for-1 deal. That's why we did that.
What a bargain.
But I didn't know if did you notice there was a lot of empty seats?
There was a lot of empty
The
seats.
seats were blue, so at first I thought, oh no, that's all. There's a bunch of Memphis fans, but there was a lot of just blue empty seat. Like there was a lot of, and they only had like 30 something thousand seats because part of it's tore up because of the
Yeah.
remodeling.
Well,
So, and we go over there, Clint, and it just it was bad.
me and you, because we always give a player of the game on offense and defense. We have
Yeah.
since the inception of this podcast, since we decided, okay, we're just going to make this a Razorback Sports podcast, and there's been a football game, we've done a player of the game.
Yeah.
Really unique sometimes because sometimes we're struggling to find players of the game. And I told Travis over Marco Polo, which is we use it to just communicate back and forth on this podcast for the podcast. And I said, I can't in good conscience give a defensive player of the game.
Yeah.
That performance was atrocious.
Terrible.
Now, I know there's guys that are trying hard. I know Cam Ball's giving it all he's got, and that's not a slight at him. But that was just there's nothing you can look at that performance and call it redeeming.
No.
They can. Um, that was the worst, the absolute worst I have seen the offensive line play all year,
Yeah.
just all year. They were getting beat by guys that had no business beating them. And you're talking about all conference players that this was happening to.
Yeah.
Uh, and the receivers, I mean, I don't. Talon didn't play a great game. The tight end room is my player of the game. They played outstanding. I
Yeah.
think they've been a breath of fresh air.
Rohan
I'm sorry.
Jones is mine. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. So I'm just giving it to tight end because I think Platt's been excellent.
Yeah.
I think the combination of Rohan Jones and Platt is an upgrade from Luke Haas. And Luke Haas is an amazing. If he can stay healthy, he's an NFL tight end.
Yeah.
Uh, so, and that's, but I'm thinking the combination of those two guys,
Yeah.
I would take over Luke Hawes. It was a bad performance.
Yeah. Well,
It,
let's
it was,
let's get some base. Let's break it down a little bit.
go ahead.
And let's start with a positive, if we can find any. What are your warm fuzzies, Clint? You got any warm fuzzies for the game?
You know, my granddad B always said something. It was a saying. My great granddad. You remember Granddad B?
Yeah, yeah,
Granddad B. He says, if you don't have it, you can't lose it. That's the way we're treating wins. We had it in the palm of our hands. So the warm fuzzy is we had the win.
Had a chance.
We had the win. You were what, a 19-yard field goal from winning that football game,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Just hang on to the ball. And I'm not blaming Mike Washington at all.
No.
Um,
Well, here's the deal.
I got
To
another good
blame
one.
to blame, and we said this last week, and I think the same thing was this week. It wasn't like Mike Washington was carrying the ball way out here like Matt Jones used to do sometimes, or he was being careless. Both against Ole Miss and against Memphis, the defenders made a good play on the ball and knocked it out and got it out. Okay. Now, that doesn't excuse it. Please don't hear me saying, because look, a stat came out this week. Since he's been coached under Sam Pittman, Arkansas has fumbled the ball 113 times. I think that's worse than any team, if I heard right. I think that's almost like over two a game. Okay. That's terrible.
Yeah, and here was the if you want to talk about a warm one, another warm fuzzy is the officials were almost as bad as our
Yeah.
defense.
Yeah.
That PI call at the end that went against us, where he literally puts Julian Neal down,
Yeah.
was ridiculous.
It was.
The holding call on Omega Blake, where he was literally getting hugged,
Yeah.
and they called offensive holding on Omega Blake,
Yeah.
and I didn't even see a hold on Omega Blake.
Yeah.
Now,
Now, the other warm fuzzies, I would say Braylon Russell ran well.
how many carries did he get, Travis?
Not enough. Not enough. But when he was running, I did like what I saw out of him. Rohan Jones and Platt, like we talked about, look good. I
I
still
don't.
think I still like Omega Blake, even though he missed a couple balls. I still like him. So those are my warm fuzzies.
No, we scored how many points? 32.
I think so, something like
I
that.
know but we scored 30 points
Yeah,
with interceptions,
yeah,
with fumbles. I mean, we turned the ball over 3 times that I can remember off the top of my head.
yeah,
And you still scored 30 something points. That's not even, and you did the same thing against Memphis, Ole Miss last week. You're scoring points, but you're turning the
yeah.
ball. I mean,
Now let's get to it because we're going to it already. We're trying
well,
to tell our warm
it's
fuzzies.
hard to be positive.
It is, and you're exactly right. So let's
And
talk
I'm
about our
always
code
positive.
pricklies.
I'm Mr. Sunshine and Rainbows over
That's
here.
right. Yeah, that's right.
You know, I'm just saying, it's like, and when you got me,
Yeah, and
done,
we're about as
um,
positive of a podcast as you'll find usually.
yeah,
And
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, we're
John Neighbors is spicy, Trey Biddy's spicy, everybody's spicy. Why don't we just join the spicy club?
that's right.
This is
So our cold pricklies,
just
I'm gonna say it. One of them, I'm gonna say, um, even though he had good stats for the game. I mean, if you look at his stat line, you think, okay, he had a good game. I thought Taylor Green didn't do well.
he
Look
did
at the
not
first
play.
play. He made a bad read on the read option. One of his problems he's had, you'll have some of those, but he did that multiple times in that game, made bad reads. Those interceptions, Clint, I mean, he should have tucked and ran that first one. The other one, he just didn't see the linebacker, threw it right to him.
Well,
It's the only excuse we got.
that one you can forgive one of those every now and then. If you look at his stats at Boise State, he was like what 16 touchdowns and 50. He was always like 50-50 touchdowns, interceptions. It was always
Yeah.
right there. He's always been that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But he made it up for it with his legs. So I was really hoping, I really was, because last year was around the same thing, about the same amount of
Yeah.
touchdowns to interceptions, which isn't ideal. Now he's going to make a play that no one else can make every now and
Yeah.
then. Matt Jones was the same way. But the problem is you're turning the ball over as much as you're throwing intercept. And I was hoping it would be better under year two as Petrino. That was kind of like, okay, it'll be better year two under Petrino.
Yeah.
It really will. And he's had, I don't know if he threw an interception against Alabama and A&M, but the other three games he's thrown an interception.
Well, in the
Two,
last two games, Clint, there are some things he did look better at. I mean, in the first three games, there's some things he looked
yeah.
better at. But this game, I mean, that first interception, he should have just ran it. He should have just ran it. He should have just lowered his head and ran it. Instead, makes an ill-advised throw that he knew he wasn't going to get much on it, and it was dumb. But the other one, man, and the one that was almost, to me, is almost unforgivable, was at the end of the game when he takes that sack, takes us out of field goal range. I mean, just that was terrible, man. You get rid of the ball there, you you don't. I mean, that's just it was bad, and so
Now, here's the other thing that is frustrating. Let's go to the last 2 minutes of the game. Let's just do it. So now I'm going to be honest with you. After the fumble, I turned off the TV. Like this is over. Like our defense is not going to be able. But then I still had the ESPN app up. Said, okay,
yeah,
let's just see what happens. I'm like, you know what? If we can force them through it out, then maybe we can get the ball back. But I'm not. I don't want to sit there and watch this end.
yeah,
And so, and then we get them third and long. Third and long. You get basically best case scenario. You had best case scenario offensively, you fumbled the ball. You had best case scenario defensively, you let them run for 11 yards. Memphis had pretty much said, we're going to run it up the gut. And if you can drive down and beat us, you can drive down and beat us.
yep.
And you couldn't even stop them.
Clint, they carried a 6'5", 390-pound man. The only guy on the field bigger than me carries him for 8 yards. A 202-pound backup quarterback. There is no excuse. You grab a hold of him and you let your butt fall to the ground and he goes down.
Yeah.
You can't even grab a hold and sit down. Now, look, and here's the big problem. The big problem for the game, we can talk about where the offense messed up. We can talk about Taylor Green. We can talk about the line, not, I mean, there was some good things with the line. I just recently watched before we came in here. I rewatched the first half a little bit. The offensive line gave him some time, and there was some good things here and there. The run blocking wasn't good for the offensive line. But Clint, the effort from the defense was pathetic. the strength of this team is supposed to be the linebackers. And Sorry did not look like strength. He was jogging to the ball. He was, it looked like I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he was doing.
No, and you figure, he's a former 5-star, blue chip recruit. This is his redshirt senior season.
Yeah.
This is it. And
It's a
you
captain.
don't you got that C on your chest. Do you don't think the NFL scouts are looking at that tape?
Oh,
You don't think they're going to put in the Memphis game and see that effort? I
yeah.
mean, that'll take you from I don't know where he's at in the draft, but that could take you from the fifth round to unsigned free agent.
If I'm a GM, he's off my board. He's off my board.
Yeah, but here's the beauty is, and this is Mr. Sunshine Rainbows. You have 8 games left
Yeah.
to play the season. Um, Now here's where it's not sunshine and rainbows. Is the schedule is freaking brutal.
Yeah.
You've got 8 games left, and I think 7 of those teams are ranked.
Yep. That's right.
Um, so
That's exactly right.
and by the way, that team that's not ranked has doubled their win total from last year.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
That's Mississippi State. They're no pushover.
And they beat number 25, Arizona State. Now, I don't know, if
Yeah.
Arizona State was worthy of 25, but when they beat them, they were ranked 25.
Right. Yeah. No, we would have celebrated it in Arkansas. I
Yeah.
mean, 100%. But so let's just cut to the chase, Travis. Sam Pittman's, you could fry an egg on his seat right now. And I don't think it'd take long to cook. I mean, the seat is on fire. Me and you both think probably wheels are in motion at the
Oh,
very least.
it's already done.
Yeah. You think it's done?
It's done. I mean,
Um,
the question right now, is when and how it's going to look. I think the decision's made. He's
yeah.
done.
I
And
think,
look, Clint, and we love Sam Pittman.
yeah,
I think he's a good man. I'm thankful for the type of coach he is, the way he cares about the kids and all those different things. And once again, one thing I love about him is honesty. One thing I don't like about him is honesty. But for the first time Monday, listening to his press conference, Clint, I'll be honest with you. I got mad. I got mad
well,
listening to him for the first time. Because he got on there and said, and once again, he's being honest. Okay. And so, look, that's fine. But one of the reasons, I'm not going to say excuse because excuse has a negative connotation. It is negative, but one of his reasons for why they played so bad was, Clint, it's been unseasonably cool in Northwest Arkansas. And so these guys haven't really played in heat. And
okay.
that was an 11 o'clock and a hot day. And so they were just tired, Clint.
Well, Travis, here's what you do.
They were
When you see that guy
tired.
jogging, you see that he's too tired, you pull him out of the game and you put another guy in there. Let him catch his breath and you put him in.
And I don't care who it is. You put somebody in there that's going to run to the freaking ball,
Yeah.
that's going to wrap up and make a tackle. And here's the other thing, Clint. And here's where it hit me too. Do you remember a few years ago? I think Odom was our defensive coordinator. And our defense looked very similar. And we had some stud linebackers at that time. We had like Grant Morgan and some of those guys. And our defense was letting people run through them. And now what happened was Odom made some changes and they got better toward the end of the year. Okay. But as a head coach, you've lived through this before. You know what got you there before, and now it's happening again, Clint. And as a head coach, you got to know what it's going to take to get you out of it because you've done it before. Now you had another guy as your defensive coordinator that, Odom had been a head coach, a little more experience. Okay. And you may have had some guys with a little more pride in them. I don't know that for sure, but we're talking Grant Morgan was one of them, right? And he was a very prideful player and he worked his butt off. I think we all loved Grant Morgan, right? As far as watching him play and the effort he always put in. To me, that's the most disappointing thing about this, Clint.
Yeah.
We're not seeing in 6 years, we've had some ups and downs, right? We've had some better years than others, but have we really seen overall that we're learned from mistakes that this is better?
You know, Trav, yeah. Here's what I come down to. Is Sam Pittman, for his entire, from the majority of his adult life, has been a college football coach.
Mhm.
Coached a little bit in high school, but he's a college football coach.
Yeah.
He's probably got 30 plus years college football coaching experience as an offensive line coach and probably other stuff, GAs.
Yeah.
Um, Sam also, he came in with a lady agent, was just signed a ridiculous contract just because he wanted his shot. Um, and then he went. He had the 9-4 season. Now back and then he fired his agent and came a little bit more of a business to it.
Yeah.
Came a little bit. I mean, he's still like lovable Sam Pittman, but it's more a business. And Sam Pittman also understands the business of college football.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be the head coach of an SEC program, you can't have home losses to Liberty.
No.
You can't lose to an American Conference school at their place. You can't lose to Memphis. You can't do those things and still be the head coach of the University of Arkansas. Sam Pittman understands that.
Yeah.
He does. He gets it. I think what they're banking on, a lot of the boosters are banking on, and probably what a lot of the fans are banking on, and may even some people in the athletic department banking on, is that they're going to go out there against Notre Dame, and they're going to lay an egg, and they're going to be able to fire Pittman, and they'll look justified doing so.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Now,
I think, to be honest with you, I think they already look justified doing so.
yeah. But here's
But
the thing. If he beats Notre Dame, I don't
which
see
could
it.
happen.
Could happen.
Could happen.
Could happen. I predicted at the beginning of the year. I'm not going to predict it today.
Yeah.
But the Miami Dolphins went out there Thursday night football going into bye week. And I told my friend I work with that's also a sports fan said, you watch to see. I guarantee you that when they lose this game, they're playing Buffalo, the Buffalo Bills,
Yeah.
with probably the best team in football that I've seen this year. They're playing them, I think, at Buffalo. So I thought the chances of getting embarrassed were pretty good. Miami played them tooth and nail and lost last second. Now, the problem was they've been embarrassing themselves, so losing last second was
Yeah.
an improvement. So if they lose last second in a painful fashion like they have the last 2 weeks, I think Pittman will not be retained. I think he will lose his job. I think if they embarrass themselves, he will definitely lose his job.
Yeah.
If it's like a 7-point game and we fought hard all the way, I don't know. I don't know. If they win, he's going to keep it. But I think he knows that he's coaching. But my point was about when I was talking about Miami is they came out and they fought. They fought their tails off.
Yeah.
That we didn't see fight last week.
No.
We didn't see it.
No.
And that's one of the things that we always saw with Pittman. I remember that 3-7 season, and I think it's anybody that holds that against him calling it a 3-7 season stupid.
Yeah.
You can quote me on that.
Mhm.
But because that 3-7 season was an SEC schedule, and the two teams they gave you were like the top two teams, and you run Georgia's starting quarterback, Bumper Pool, run that kid.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. I'm like, that man has never been hit like that in his life.
Yeah.
But so yeah, but that 3-7 season, you're like, okay, there's something different here. This team's got some fight in it. You saw it, and you saw the hope,
Yeah.
and we appreciate Sam Pittman bringing pride back to the University, so getting it to a stable place.
Yeah.
But we got to have better than this.
Yeah.
And that's
And so here's the thing, Clint. How does it look? And here's what everybody's wondering, right? And here's what we're trying to figure out. How does it look the rest of the season? Okay. There's rumors that Bobby is working behind the scenes. Bobby Petrino is working behind the scenes trying to get the interim job. To me, if you let
I didn't know he had to work for it. I figured he
well,
just
well, to me, I think if the defense was playing well, was playing decent, I think Travis Williams would be your interim because it would, the drama of Bobby P being back as a head coach you wouldn't have that. Okay.
yeah.
You would just have, and Travis Williams up until this year has been the guy everybody's like, he's the next head coach of some team, not Arkansas, but like
Yeah.
he's the next guy to get a head coaching job.
Like
right?
Buffalo comes open, he's going
Yeah, yeah, something like that, like whatever. But you can't do that. In fact, now people are wanting Woodson to start calling the plays. There's rumors that if they let anybody go in the middle of the season, it'll be Deke Adams, that they're not happy with him, with the defensive line play and recruiting and all that stuff. Who knows there? Okay. But here's what I think. I'm going also by listening to people like Mike Irwin and Trey Biddy and other folks as they talk about this. Word is that there's a lot of people talking and chirping that Yurachek will not be the one that hires the next head coach.
Yeah. You're telling me that over the phone earlier.
Yeah. There and what he said at the touchdown club last week, pretty much there's a lot of people that are upset about that. And from what I hear, the boosters are the main ones that are upset about that. And one of the things Mike Irwin talked about, I was listening to today, is that Yurachek is not the type that he doesn't spend time with the boosters. He doesn't glad hand the boosters very well. He doesn't glad hand fans very well. He's really good with the coaches.
Yeah.
And he's been pretty good at hiring coaches, really. Because, I mean, look at Pittman, okay? Look, you can gripe about Pittman right now, but pretty much his choices were Pittman or Barry Lunny. That's what we got down to. Lane Kiffin used us for money. No one else would take it. Okay? No one else was interested. And he got down to Pittman and Lunny, and enough former players spoke up about Pittman, and so that's what he went with. So I think, here's what I think. I think sooner rather than later, Yurachek's out. This is Travis's prediction. Okay. I think they do their best they can to let Pittman finish out. Maybe finish out. We'll see. But they try to get an AD in as soon as possible and get them. They need to announce something with Pittman. Okay. I think if Pittman loses to Notre Dame, I think during the bye week, either they're going to announce Pittman's done and go ahead and put Bobby in, or Pittman comes out and says, I'm retiring at the end of the year, kind of a forced retirement thing, and I'm just going to coach out the rest of the year, lame duck, let
No, and
us.
I agree. I agree with you, Travis. I think, I think a lot of it depends on this Notre Dame game goes, how it's handled.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't see them putting up a good enough record anymore to finish more than 6
Yeah.
and 6.
Even if the thing is, Notre Dame looks kind of beatable. Okay.
They do.
But even if you beat Notre Dame, like you were said earlier, you got six more ranked teams to face, man.
Yeah,
I mean, you still got Tennessee. How's our defense going to stop Tennessee's offense? You know what Josh Heupel's going to do to that defense?
dude.
You,
And if you don't think they won that Joey Aguilar, Nico Emiliwava trade, you're
oh yeah,
crazy.
oh
I'm like,
yeah,
dude, they y'all,
yeah.
congratulations.
And then
Congratulations, you won that trade.
and then
That's
one
about
game
as
we thought was going to be a win, Auburn.
they're ranked.
The things we were hearing about Hugh Freeze and the Auburn Tigers, War Eagles, whatever they are, were sadly mistaken, man. They're alive and well. I
Trav,
mean
let me
they
ask you,
lost to Oklahoma, but Oklahoma is pretty daggum solid too.
can I ask you a question, Travis? And this is just, we hadn't discussed this, but do you think Sam Pittman became a head coach in the wrong time? Because he's dealing in the transfer portal era
Yeah.
is
No,
where he's at.
I think he would have had a better chance in the I think he would have had a better chance in the I'll put it this way. If you switched his era and Houston Nutt's era, I think Houston Nutt would have done better in this era. You know what I
And I
mean?
think Pittman would have done just as good as Houston Nutt, if not better.
Because here's the thing. I think Houston in this era uh when you gotta coalesce a group of people right away, look what he did with that 98 team,
Yeah.
right? I mean, and the way he brought them together so quickly. I mean, some of that was he had some good older guys. You know, he had Burlsworth, he had Sterner, he had some good older guys there. But but yeah, I think you're right. I think Pittman, if he would have been in an era where he had, you know, more walk-ons. He had the guys that were there for 4 or 5 years. He had all that kind of stuff. He was able to develop players and all that kind of stuff and didn't have to worry about the transfer portal and all this crap. And he was able to build a family atmosphere because I think he does do that. I think the type of person he is, because you know his players like him. He builds a family atmosphere. It's just he's in an era where money talks, and I think Houston Nutt can build that family atmosphere, and
Yeah.
he also can motivate a little better.
You're in an era now where assistant coaches are being paid less than the players they're coaching in
Yeah.
college football. It's just
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
that is that you know you have a hard enough time coaching grown-ups because they're like, man, I make more money a year than you do. What do you know?
Yeah.
And then you got, I mean, I can't, I don't see Taylor Green making less than Bobby Petrino. And I know Bobby Petrino's very well. I mean, you've got to think Taylor's clearing close to two.
Yeah.
Got to be.
Yeah. You're right.
Um, and so that's
Well, okay, Clint. So here's the deal. I didn't tell you we were going to ask this, but why not? Right? Why not?
uh,
We're a podcast. We can do this. You could have your pick, realistic pick,
okay.
realistic pick. Who's the next head coach at Arkansas?
Well,
If we
now,
get like say, let's say the scenario is we get a good AD in there, okay, and that AD, you know, so that'll be a selling point to a new coach, right? Is they'll get to come in with an AD he's gonna be their first hire. That coach will be their first hire, and so he's gonna want to
make a
he's gonna want to give
splash.
them what they need. Yeah,
Yeah. And this is why I hate that I get it, that your chick will be able to make the hire, but he's done such a good, he's made good hires.
yeah,
He
yeah,
really has. And like me, you're talking about it, and other than like women's basketball and football, we're set up to win national championships, and they're set up to win them. And just
yeah,
women's basketball is just, it's been rough. That
yeah,
league is just, you exist in a league with the Tennessees and the South
yeah,
Carolinas. Who I think, who's at least, I think Rhett Lashley's going to use us to get a raise.
yeah.
Um,
I agree. I think when it comes down to it, he's gonna see that he can make just as much money and have less headache at
well, here's
SMU,
the thing:
staying at
the
SMU.
S is is you got to look at I'm stalling because I don't have a good answer for you, Travis. Is basically the is what I don't know who I want. I don't. I really don't. I mean, all the because if you'd asked me during basketball season and I said John Calipari, you'd have said Clint. I said realistic. Um, so I don't know. I do think the next head coach of the University of Arkansas is going to be Eli Drinkwitz. I think we're going to do the most Hill thing ever and go after Missouri's coach.
Okay.
And I think Eli Drinkwitz is enough of a troll that he would like it. He would do it. See, I don't the perfect coach for the transfer portal era is Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
It's just period, the end.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, just he knows how to work the portal, and he even like with Chambliss, he found him a gym. I mean he's looked great. He looked
Yeah.
great this week. I think he'll be the quarterback for Ole Miss the rest of the season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Travis, who I mean, I know me and you both like Dale Loggins.
Yeah. I think Dow Loggins is your Houston nut hire.
Yeah,
I just don't think he's got the resume because of the because 1 year head coach at Appalachian State and they're 1-2, 1-3, I think right now.
they're 2-1, but like they
Yeah.
beat Charlotte, which who hasn't beat Charlotte?
Yeah.
Um, and then
They
I
lost to
think it
Southern Miss.
lost Southern Miss, and then Linscomb. I mean, but you don't know who is going to have which NFL coach with some college experience is
Well, see,
going
I
to.
like his pedigree in that he learned a lot in the pros and then came to college and he's learned a lot in college. And he's been around some really good coaches, not just, of course he learned under Houston Nutt in college, but anyway, I think he's gonna look, it could get to where if we get in the same situation we did with the Pittman hire, he could be one of the top ones. It very well could be. It could be like him and somebody else, right?
Yeah,
I'm going to throw a wild card in there for you.
go ahead.
And I don't know if it's a great hire or not, but he's been one of my favorite coaches throughout the years. And I would love to have him at Arkansas. And I think he's just a consultant right now. Is Gary Patterson.
Yeah, is he at Texas right now? And he's interviewed for jobs.
Yeah.
Um,
My worry would be is how's he going to do in the NIL because he's a little old school.
yeah, and that's the
But
thing.
he dealt with a lot of transfers at TCU. I mean, even before the transfer portal was as huge as it was, he get, and the thing is, he did a lot of winning
Yeah,
with a lot less. His guys wasn't as tall, wasn't as big, wasn't as fast necessarily,
yeah,
and he won a lot of games at TCU with guys like that. That's why I've always appreciated him.
yeah.
And he's a defensive guru. So
Yeah,
forget it.
I just don't know because I mean I agree with you. There was a time that would be a good hire, but I mean
Yeah.
it's odd that he never got another crack at it.
Yeah. He hasn't yet. Yeah.
Yeah. See
And
you.
here's another one that's out there. And this one's a very much a wild card. But
Yeah.
just throwing some names because there's going to be a lot of names come out. People
Well,
have talked about the Memphis
obviously,
guy.
like realistic. I mean, yeah, Gruden would be on the list. You
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah, they're going to try to but I think someone like if Clemson or Florida or somebody like that goes after him, it's going to be hard for him to tell them no. I think. In fact, I think Florida. I really think that'd be it because that would be 2.5 hours from where he lives now. So
yeah.
now here's the other one that's very much a wild card, but it'd be interesting. Chip Kelly.
I think if Chip Kelly wanted to be a college football coach, he would be. I think Chip Kelly he could care less about being a head coach. I
Yeah,
think Chip Kelly
he may be. Yeah.
just wants to be. So let's just say, Travis, doomsday scenario. Like everyone's turned down the job. Rhett Lashley use you to get a raise Eli Drinkwitz is like, no, I'm good at Mizzou, Mizzou.
Yeah.
And it's down to it. And you're like, you're looking at the landscape. Okay. You got Bobby Petrino. Another guy name that's going to come up that I do not want is Jimbo Fisher at all.
Please no.
Please
I
no.
would rather, and look, I've made no qualms about it. I don't want Bobby Petrino to be the next head coach. I don't mind if he's interim this year. I don't want him to be permanent. I'm fine with him being offensive coordinator. In fact, I've kind of, but do not want him to be the head coach. But I'd rather him than Jimbo Fisher.
So if it comes down to it, and like, I'm going to give you these three names, and it's got to be one of these three. Do you take Lunny, who's the offensive coordinator at number 9, Illinois?
Yeah.
Do you take Lunny? Do you take Petrino? Or do you take Loggins?
For me personally, I'd take Loggins. Lunny would be number 2 for me.
Yeah.
Now, that's me personally, but that's not what I think Lunny would be number 1 for most people. Just because, well, he hadn't been a head coach. So that's a negative on him, I guess.
Well, he's
A
been
lot of people would say Petrino, but look, here's the other thing. Here's what nobody will say about Petrino right now, but I'm going to throw this out there. Okay. One of the issues we are having on defense may be because Petrino got his way and got all the money for the offense. How many receivers did we pay for? How many linemen did we pay for? Where did our money go on defense? A few D backs. That's it. And we got some D linemen and some, but we didn't get any big money guys. Okay. Omega Blake, Rohan Jones, Platt, uh, our offensive lineman.
Yeah.
That's where our money went. Okay. So look, folks, if you're about there saying we got to have give it to Bobby, give it to Bobby, give it to Bobby. Don't forget when he left, our defense was bad week because he was recruiting all nothing but receivers and running backs and quarterbacks.
And if you think high school recruitings were bad, is bad now.
Oh, give him some time.
You give him some time, he'll run that. But no, but I can see it going because Travis, here's the other. Let's just be honest. It is very rare anymore where it is. Oh, I'm gonna go here because this coach won me over. It's this guy's paying me the most money.
Yeah.
So I think who the coach is means very little, but you got to have
Means
some
less.
relationships in
It means
build
less than
some,
it did for sure.
yeah.
It means less than it did.
But you got to build those relationships, and Petrino is not great at that.
All right. So enough of that. We got Notre Dame coming in, Clint.
Yep.
My two favorite teams are finally facing each other. Woo Pig Sooie versus Touchdown Jesus, baby. It's history in the making. Come on now. So forget where we're at right now as the Razorbacks. This is still really cool, right? The Notre Dame's coming to Fayetteville. The Golden Domers. Lou Holtz is going to be there, Clint. I tell you what, we're gonna fight. No, that's a horrible imitation, but anyway.
That was awful.
But Lou Holtz is gonna be there. This is a big time game. Okay. I had some friends posted on Facebook. They have 2 tickets on the 50-yard line they're selling. They said we paid $700 for them. I said, how much are you paying for people to take them? Anyway, so Clint, I don't even want to look at what we predicted the score last week. It was ugly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Notre Dame 42, Arkansas 27.
42-27.
Golden Domers. And
I'm
I
gonna say Golden Domers are gonna be 36. Arkansas 31. Keep it within five.
no, I tell you, if it I think if I'm right, Sam Pittman is not the coach when we record the podcast next week. If you're right, there's a chance that he is at least finishing out the season.
I think either way, there's an announcement made during off week of some kind.
Yeah.
I may be wrong. Could very well
I
be wrong.
think I think there's a lot riding. I think,
Yeah,
there's a lot riding on this game. And I'll
there
leave it at
is.
that.
Yeah.
There's a lot
And it's
riding
sad
on.
because there really shouldn't be. This is such a big game. And if we lost to it, but if you don't lose a close one to Ole Miss, if you don't lose the one you shouldn't have ever lost to Memphis, look, we had the better players than Memphis. You can't convince me that we didn't, but they beat us. They beat us bad.
I don't
Not
think Ole
bad,
Miss.
but they beat us.
I do not think Ole Miss had better players than us.
Maybe not. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. This team should be 4-0. This should be a marquee game, not an afterthought, and it's not because we've blown it.
Think about it, Clint. We're possibly because we still have to on both chances, we still got to go down and score, right? But we had a chance in both games to win those two games. And even if we barely win, even if we just kick a field goal to beat Memphis, there's a chance this is a college game day film, college game day game.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe
No,
not.
not with Notre Dame being 1-2, but
Well, that's true. Yeah, my bad.
but
But still, well, okay, yeah,
here's the thing, and this is where this is a big game. Notre Dame's got goals. Arkansas's got goals. The, those goals are still in front of you.
yeah.
You can't tell me Arkansas can't get on the run. You can't tell me Notre Dame can get on the run because they can. It don't matter who you are. You get on a run, you start winning games, stuff can happen.
Was Arkansas playing the players? This is where you got to bow up and go play with some pride.
Yeah, yeah, you got
You
to
got
go
to
play
find
with some
some
pride.
pride. You got to go out there and get after it because this ain't it.
No, no, sir.
Clint, all right, before we go, I think I may have talked about this on here before. I don't know if I have, but I just got a suggestion for the folks listening and watching. I've been reading a book. I actually read it twice, and it's an easy read, Clint. Easy read, very
Cat
easy
in the
read.
hat.
No, but it goes with athletics because a lot of teams read this book. A lot of coaches have their teams read it and go through it. A lot of them have the author come in and speak. But it's Chop Wood, Carry Water. Have you heard of it?
I've not.
You haven't heard it talked about? It's a great book, man. It's and it really fit into some other things that I was already kind of thinking and that was going on in my mind with my motivation for like weight loss and getting healthier and stuff like that. But kind of the way the book works, Clint, is it's a story about a guy that's trying to be a samurai archer. And it sounds like okay, it's old school stuff, right? Well, it's not really old school, it's in modern times. But this guy goes to Japan to study to be he's always wanted to be a samurai archer. And uh this guy is kind of his sensei is teaching him. And so it teaches lessons through story. And one of the cool things about the book, even if you're not a big reader, okay, it's short chapters and it's just stories that teach some really cool lessons. And you know, it really the whole point of it is this guy's there, he's wanting to be an archer, he's wanting to focus on being an archer, but every day he has to chop wood and carry water. Okay. And one of the points of the whole thing, the overall arching of it, not to give too much away, is the fact you got to focus on the basics, the little things. If you don't do those well,
Yeah.
then you're not going to achieve goals. You're not going to get the big things you want out of life. You got to focus on the daily, sometimes the menial stuff. Okay. And Clint, in athletics, I mean, tell me that's not what this Razorback team needs right now.
No, no, they do. Yeah, and you got to get back. Listen, tackle.
They need form tackling drills.
Yeah.
They need pursuit drills. The basic stuff, man.
Yeah, on one hand, Sports Center is the greatest thing that's ever happened to sports, and it is the worst thing that's ever happened to sports. Remember Olu Fonmatini? Everybody calling Sports Center Fonmatini. He's either the dunker or three.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, Clint. Something we didn't talk about the defense. They actually improved on some things this week, as far as lining up and not being confused before the snap. You didn't see that from them in this game.
Yeah.
They were able to read and react. The problem was they didn't put out the effort to read and react.
Yeah,
and that's the sad thing is they made some changes. I mean, the coaches got them to at least do something they hadn't been doing the last couple of games very well. But it's still the basics of you got to put out effort. You got to do those things. But anyway, check out that book, Chopwood Cherry Water.
Pittman, we are pulling for you. That's
right.
Let's go 10-2.
Hey, and here's the deal too. I think Pittman's done. I think he's gone. I think if I had money to put on it and I was a betting person, I would put money on it. However, my hope is that he's able to come out of this well. I think I've said this before, but I hope he's able to come out of it well with still a relationship with the university. I want him to be able to go to Lake Hamilton and people talk nice to him there. I want him to be able to look. I'm fine if they put him in some token position, give him an office, and have him show around every recruit and transfer portal guy that comes in. Have him show them around Fayetteville, take them out to eat, get to know the family. Because that's the kind of guy he is, man, and that's where he's the best, right?
No, and I think
I would love for something like that to work out for the guy.
And I said this about Sam Pittman: he was going to leave it better than he found it, and he has.
Yeah,
he has. It is.
Of course, it didn't take much. Chad Moore's dumpster fire.
Hey man, we're upset about losing by 1 point at Memphis, not getting blown out at home by the quarterback you ran out of town.
Yeah,
and went to Western Kentucky, then came back and put that. It is like every now and then that pops up on YouTube. Trey Biddy's walk and talk after the Western Kentucky game.
Yeah.
He's like, how fitting was it that it was Ty Story that came back and did this?
Yeah.
How fitting that that final nail in his coffin was probably put in by Ty Story.
Yeah.
Now.
All right. Well, folks, let's just root on the Hogs.
We don't like being negative, but there's got to be a reality to this.
Let's root them on. Go Hogs. Yeah. Look, and that's the thing. We've met some of these guys that are players. They're good guys.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, though, even the ones we haven't met are good guys. Let's root them on. They have big hearts. We're glad to have them here. Let's root them on. Let's support them. We're still Hog fans, even through the tough times.
I'm going to make it all better, and then just click away in this.
Okay.
6 weeks of basketball season.
Hey, like, share, subscribe, comment, all the things.
Calipari will take the pain away.
Go Hogs.
Blue Pig.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard drives so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I swear when I work, my hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no more till I hurt, crying your kingdom come. Oh, I swear when I work, my hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no more till I hurt, crying your kingdom come. Sun beating down so hard, I can barely breathe. Hard to sing a joyful song, the words got me on my knees. Then the gentle breeze blows by, pick me up right on time. Listen,